We start with a dirty needle scare this morning. A downtown farmers market is pushing the community to take back its park after dirty needles pricked 2 people over the weekend. News 13's Catherine Mazzone is here with the latest. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning, Crystal. It's a popular spot on the weekends, Robinson Park, home to the growers market. But in order to keep it popular, the city is making a move to better protect people from used syringes. It happened at the park on 8th and Central on Saturday. A downtown cleanup worker was stuck in the hand while emptying out the trash. Another person, an elderly woman, was shopping at the growers market. She was laying down a blanket in the grass when she stepped on a needle. Now the city says it will up patrols at the park and add a mobile camera this week. Growers market operators hope the community will also keep a better watch over the park.
We really need this to be a safe place to gather and to celebrate our great city.
Public safety is priority for those park areas or those areas that are generating any kind of criminal activity.
We're told the elderly woman was a regular at the market. In fact, she's been frequenting it for more than a decade with her family. Back to you, Crystal.
All right, thanks, Catherine. News 13 learned both of the people stuck with the dirty needles are now undergoing testing to see if they picked up any blood-borne diseases. We turn now to this. For the first time, we hear from the man in charge of overseeing major changes at APD and the team that will help him do it.
Spent 20 years in the Oakland Police Department, retired as a captain.
A former academic at the University of Illinois.
I served as a municipal court judge for the city of Trenton.
A lot of experience there. Dr. James Ginger's company will make $4.5 million over the next 4 years to make sure APD is implementing reforms required by the DOJ. Ginger says he's worked with police departments in the past that were in desperate need of change and knows the kind of tricks they might pull.
The first administration, during my first few years in New Jersey, did a pretty good job of trying to hide the ball. I know that what the data we're going to get, if we're not getting real data, I'll know it.
For all of our coverage related to APD's reform, download the KRQE News app. On to this now. A federal judge ruled former Belen detective John Lytle will not be allowed to return to the force ever. 3 years ago, Lytle handcuffed the teen, shoved him to the ground, and hit him repeatedly. Lytle claimed he did it after he found out the teen helped his fiance's daughter abuse drugs and steal thousands of dollars from the family's home. Lytle will also serve 5 years probation. And Albuquerque police say they've nabbed the getaway driver in a string of armed robberies. Police say Juan Quinones drove as his alleged partner in crime, Michael Estrada, held up 6 hotels in just 5 days. Police say Estrada would pull a pellet gun on the clerk, get the cash, then drive away with Quinones behind the wheel. Estrada was eventually arrested and told police Quinones was the driver. Happening today, the controversial Santa Elena development moves forward with another meeting that could give the project the green light. Today, the Bernalillo County Commissioners will discuss the development agreement. This after approving 2 major parts of the project just last week, the master plan and the zoning changes. The plan calls for Santa Elena to sit on 14,000 acres between the Trisco Heritage High and the jail. That's along Central and I-40. We turn out to this. A woman is calling out a panhandler on Facebook. She claims he's not really homeless.
One, he's in new clothes every day. He's clean, like he's showered. He has a place to shower.
So Ashley Gonzalez says she watches a man at the corner of Coors and Sequoia every day. She says he has his own van, a laptop, and throws food away that people give him. She is now warning people on Facebook not to give him money, and her post is getting thousands of shares. So News 13 went to the panhandler to get his side of the story.
Being homeless doesn't mean that you're not without a car.
So the man did not want to talk with us about anything else other than that. New rules could be coming for New Mexicans on food stamps. The proposed changes from the Human Services Department would require parents of kids 6 and older to complete up to 80 hours a month of community service. That's just for parents from 18 to 50 years old. The governor wants to change that, though. No word on when that might happen. We turn now to this new this morning. We all know being a parent can be pretty tough, right? But could the state you're living in be making it that much tougher? That's what one study is suggesting, ranking the best and worst states for working dads. According to research from wallettab.com, when it comes to economic and social well-being, New Mexico comes in dead last, suggesting that dads in New Mexico are 4 times more likely to be living in poverty than fathers like in New Hampshire. But it was not all bad. In fact, when it comes to balancing work and life, we ranked number 11, and health, we're number 23. New this morning, all eyes are on Washington, D.C. after reports that the U.S. National Security Agency eavesdropped on the last 3 French presidents. So far, those documents handed over by WikiLeaks have not been confirmed, but a spokesman for the organization says he was confident the documents are authentic, especially after Edward Snowden blew the whistle on NSA years prior. So far, neither the White House or the French government has commented on those allegations. Happening today, people in South Carolina will begin saying goodbye to the 9 victims of last week's church massacre. Today, the body of Reverend Clementa Pinckney will lie in state inside the rotunda of South Carolina's Capitol building. The state senator and pastor was among those murdered inside the EmanuelAME church that was in Charleston during a Bible study session. The deaths of the 9 churchgoers has set off an ongoing debate in several states over the Confederate flag. In our next half hour, what a New Mexico lawmaker has to say about all of that. Okay, frightening moments for a news crew when they were attacked while covering a story on a beach that's attracted a very specific group of people. Take a look.
Sir,
when are you leaving?
you need to walk away.
Sir, turn that camera off.
Get away from my reporter.
I'm not near her. She's behind.
Sir, you do not touch the camera. What is wrong with you?
So this all started when the reporter and her photographer were covering a story at a beach that's become a haven for nudists. The man approached them saying they could not film, but the crew says the beach is public. After all of that commotion, the man was arrested, as you just saw, and he was charged for battery. And we start with new details this morning. For the first time, we're learning more about the arrest of the accused Charleston church shooter, Dylan Roof. Dash cam video and the 911 calls show how it all unfolded.
And I know this is strange, but I just got a third-person telephone call behind the vehicle matching the description of the Charleston shooter.
The suspect looks like the subject they're talking about on the news from that Charleston shooting.
So officers eventually caught up with Roof, hauling him off to jail, as you can see right there. He's accused of murdering 9 black churchgoers, saying he wanted to start a race war. A New Mexico lawmaker is now joining the fight over the Confederate flag. He's taken to social media to voice his take on the controversial symbol and the way the South Carolina governor is actually handling it. News 13's Catherine Mazzone is here with the latest. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning, Crystal. Senate Majority Leader Michael Sanchez is a Democrat, but he had no qualms Monday about siding with South Carolina's Republican governor. Take a look at this tweet. It reads, "Great news out of South Carolina." Now let's see how the South Carolina legislature reacts to the news. Thank you, Governor Haley. This comes on the heels of the governor's push to take down the Confederate flag that flies on the State House grounds. In a New York Times article, Governor Haley, the first minority and the first woman governor of South Carolina, cites personal, not political reasons for her newly found stance. Over the course of her term, she showed little concern over the flag or the long-time debate over what some say is a symbol of racism. Yet all that changed after the shooting at EmanuelAME Church that left 9 people dead, including State Senator and Reverend Clementa Pinckney. Not long after the rampage, photos surfaced of the suspect, Dylan Roof, posing with the Confederate flag. Sanchez and Haley are not the only ones taking a stand against the flag. NASCAR is also backing the flag's removal, and Walmart recently announced they would take their Confederate flag merchandise off the shelves. Back to you, Crystal.
All right, thanks, Catherine. Also, according to CNN, Amazon, Sears, eBay, they've also decided to stop selling Confederate flag merchandise. We turn now to this. Investigators now know the cause of death for the former White House chef who got lost in the mountains near Taos. Authorities say Walter Scheib had drowned. Search and rescue found his body just yards from a trail. He had been missing for about a week. State police say an autopsy reveals Scheib's cause of death as accidental. No signs of foul play. Scheib worked as a chef for Presidents Clinton and George W. Bush for 11 years. He also wrote a White House cookbook and appeared on shows like Iron Chef. We now know the name of a man who kept a SWAT situation going for 6 hours yesterday. Police say it started after a call from a homeowner near Lead and Spruce saying a man was in his backyard. When police arrived, They say Dennis Lawrence flashed a gun he was holding in his waistband. The SWAT ended peacefully just after 10:30 last night, with Lawrence taken into custody. We checked. As of this morning, he's yet to be booked into MDC. Lawrence has 3 warrants for Montana for armed robbery. We turn now to developing news this morning. U.S. Marshals are working to extradite a suspected killer back to New Mexico. He was on the run for 19 years. This was the scene September of 1996 when deputies found 18-year-old Miguel Cabrera shot to death outside a dance hall at 5 Points and Bridge in southwest Albuquerque. Deputies arrested 1 person, but they could not find Paul Sanchez. Yesterday, U.S. Marshals found Sanchez, seen here in an old photo, hiding out in El Paso. He's now facing first-degree murder charges. This morning, deputies are looking for vandals that left crude carvings in a local golf course, costing thousands of dollars in damages. Workers at Tierra del Sol golf course near Belen discovered the damage yesterday. It was left behind by the vandals from the night before. But it was not just random chunks of grass missing. Maintenance crew, they found a carving of male genitalia into the green.
It makes our course look really bad, especially, this is a small town, so we really try and pull golfers from Albuquerque, and it's quite a drive for them, so when they come out here, they expect the course to be in good shape.
So it's the second time vandals have struck. The manager told the sheriff's department he thinks it may be a few teens. We turn now to news happening today. State health officials will continue testing people in Curry County for tuberculosis after a man tested positive. Authorities say they've already contacted close to 100 people in Curry County who may have been exposed to the man, who is part of the Clovis Community Choir. The health department is offering free screenings today at the Clovis Library. Tuberculosis is an airborne disease with symptoms like a persistent cough, night sweats, and even weight loss. New this morning, the CDC says it is testing for plague in North Colorado after a teen's death. Taylor Gaze died June 8th. Investigators say he may have contracted the plague from infected fleas that were found on a dead animal on family land. Officials there are working with the CDC to test animals nearby the family's property. The CDC says about 7 human plague cases are reported nationwide every single year. We turn now to developing news right now out of Texas. Health officials there are asking people to stay out of the Gulf of Mexico after higher than normal bacteria levels were found. Officials are comparing the bacteria levels in the Gulf to toilet water. The result is from all the recent flooding there. While the threat is minimal, health officials say it will likely be several more days until the water quality improves. We could hear from convicted Boston bomber Dzhokhar Tsarev today during his formal sentencing hearing. Tsarev was found guilty in April and sentenced to death by a jury in May. That sentence is just a recommendation until a formally formally imposes it during today's hearing. The bomber will be given an opportunity to address the court. It's unclear if he'll do so, but some victims say they will speak during his sentencing. Happening right now, parts of the plains and the Midwest are bracing for severe storms today. Yesterday, sections of the Northeast were hit with high winds and heavy rain that toppled trees, damaged homes, and affected air travel there. At one point, more than 700,000 customers across that region, they were all left without power. Take a look at this new video this morning. Dash cam video out of Texas shows an officer making a stop moments before a squad car is plowed into. You can see it right there. The moment the crash happens, a camera in the back seat, it was pushed all the way to the front. The car completely destroyed. Luckily, though, the officer was okay. He was not inside. No word on any charges for the driver just yet.